Radio. Shout it.
What's happening? It's your boy B-How Radio Shout In. Stepping in the building, I got an icon and a legend in this thing. DJ Kool, what's good with it, boss?
Let me clear my throat, sir. What's happening?
That's right. I mean, I ain't even gonna play with you, Kool. I'm gonna go straight to it. What was it that made you say, let me clear my throat? And when you dropped the record, did you think all hell was gonna break loose like it did?
I'm gonna try to give you the most abbreviated.
I'm here for the long story. Kool.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go. You got time, I got time. And
Yeah.
so, something like this. At this particular time, I was working at a club in Richmond, Virginia called Ivory's. I had a big college night down there on Tuesday night.
Mm-hmm.
And I would always do this little routine at the end of the night called a 20-minute workout, which was basically a go-go routine, you know what I mean? And I used to do it over this record, or over this track by Dougie Fresh called I'm Getting Ready.
Mm.
Okay? And basically all it is a go-go thing, a bunch of shouting people out and where y'all from, you know, type thing, you know what I mean? So anyway, after that, I would always do like a hold up, wait a minute, and then I would drop 900 number and segue into my hip hop set. Coming out of my go-go set, segueing into a hip hop set. So I did that, and I was about to say something to the crowd, and something, whatever it was caught in my throat. The first thing I thought to do, I don't know what it was, couldn't tell you how it happened. All I know is I had a little problem. So first thing I thought to do was to try to play the situation off by saying the first thing that popped in my mind, which was "Let Me Clear My Throat," which is a line from an old Beastie Boys song. Right? It's the new, let me clear my throat. It's the new style, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that joint. So, make a long story short, all of it was just a bunch of spontaneous stuff that I was saying that was going on throughout the night. So the very next week, because I was working at this club on, every week. So people come up to me like my regular, "Kool, you gonna clear your throat tonight? You gonna clear?" I'm like, what the hell is they talking about? Oh, what I did last week. Yeah, why not? So anyway, like when you heard me say, I said, goddamn. But I kept saying it, and the crowd started to say that part. After I did the call, then they would say, goddamn. Okay, so then next thing you know, it was time for me to record 20-minute workout. You know, I do these live records.
Yeah.
So we recorded 20-minute workout live at Ivory. So I said, well, let me do the same thing with this 900 number thing. Let me put like a little snippet of that on at the end of this record. So we did that, and the record come out. I got a call from a DJ friend of mine that used to be on air in Philly at Power 99 named Don Mystic Mac. I don't know if you're familiar with him. So he said, "Kool, man, you got these people up here in Philly going off on this go-go thing that you're doing over this 20-minute workout, this 20-minute workout thing." He said, "But what they really going off on is whatever you doing over the 900 number, coughing and talking about let me clear my throat and that." He said, "You need to come to Philly. They about to have a big show up here. You need to come up here and see, what's going on." So you know how they had them big radio shows and whatnot every year with the radio station. So they always had one in Philly called the Powerhouse. And so I goes up there, and we was at a place called the Core State Center at that time. There had 16,000 people in there. And a cat named DJ Rand, shout out to DJ Rand if you listening. He was the DJ playing for the intermission for the show at the time. So he playing stuff. He drops this clear my throat routine. The whole joint just go nuts. So me and my DJ looking around, we like, what the hell going on? And everybody just bouncing off the joint. So then, the little light come on up over my head. I say, man, I need to make this into a song. So my manager, Walt Reeder Jr., he's out of Philly. He had just so happened to book me for a show up there anyway. So we came back, and we decided to do a live recording, Let Me Clear My Throat, at this club called Bahama Bay. It was a big outdoor thing. They had 5,000 people there. It was a big beach party thing they had. Nobody knew we was doing the recording. The only people that knew was myself and my recording sound engineers or my mobile recording sound engineers. I counted to 3, and then he hit record, and the rest is history.
My God.
That was in 1996. One take. But it was easy to do it in one take because basically he was just recording the performance.
Yeah.
The crowd didn't know that.
Exactly. Cool. What goes through your mind when you look up, you dropped that record in 96 and it's still getting the party started in 2020, man?
It is a blessing from God. I'm a spiritual person. You know what I mean?
Yes,
at
sir.
my core and at my base, I'm a very spiritual person, and I got sense enough to know that I didn't do that by myself. Physically, I did it. I was the vehicle that was used to do that, but that wasn't me.
Yeah.
That was the Creator. That was God Almighty that did that. Next year would be, I was just got off the phone with my manager, Walt Reeder Jr. I just got off the phone with him, and we were talking about the fact that next year is the 25-year anniversary of Let Me Clear My Throat. 25 years.
My God. When it came to putting Go-Go on the map, though, Cool, what was that like when you realized that I just took Go-Go to a whole nother level? Because folks hadn't really experienced that until you brought it nationwide.
I ain't gonna say that. I ain't gonna say that.
Talk to me.
Way before I did. You got to remember Chuck Brown. God rest his soul. He is the Godfather. So let's take it back to Bustin' Loose. Okay. Let's go. Let's take it. And that was in the 70s. Let's take it to the 80s with Trouble Funk. And all that Trouble Funk stuff that they did back in the 80s. Let's take it up to 1988 with EU and doing the butt.
Yeah, okay. I'm there.
Now, I will say this. I was talking to someone from New Orleans this morning, and I've spoken to several people about this. A lot of people say that I am the one that was blending hip hop and go-go together.
Yeah.
And then doing it live the way that I do it. Ain't nobody made no live record.
Yeah.
Run DMC did a thing called Live at the Fun House, but it wasn't like no lead single, and it wasn't I wouldn't say it was a pivotal record in their career. And unless you a real hip hop head or something like that, you ain't gonna really know nothing about that record. You know what I mean?
I feel
you're gonna know about their hits. You're gonna know about Walk This Way. You're gonna know about Sucker MCs. You know, records like that. But something like Live at the Fun House. But every record that I did, as a matter of fact, you know, my recording career goes all the way back to 1986. I don't know how far you go back with me. But my first thing was called The Music Ain't Loud Enough, Pump Up the Volume. That was 1986. I've been blessed to have a record on the Billboard chart every year consecutively from 1986 all the way up to 1996.
My God.
I had a record somewhere on the Billboard chart every year, doing it independently, not independently as far as my own situation, but being an artist signed on independent labels back in the 80s and the 90s.
Yeah. What was it that got you into the music game, though, Cool?
Oh man! Once again, that's what the good master put me here for.
Yeah.
My talent, and I know this is probably gonna sound real cliche for black folk, but my talent has always been music and sports. In my head, I wanted to play point guard for the Lakers one day. I wanted to run with Magic. In my head, I wanted to be a first baseman for the Oakland A's one day. I was a four-sport athlete coming up. I played basketball, baseball, football, and ran track. Right?
Yeah.
But so that's on my sports side. So that's what kept me out the street. Between that and a belt from my mother, who's from the South, God rest her soul, and my father, him being from the South, my father never put his hands on me, but he was 22 years in the military. He had this look as if to say, if you try it, I'll twist your head off your shoulder. Never put his hands on me. So between sports and the discipline that I got from my parents, like that kept me out the streets. I did grow up in a very urban neighborhood, but growing up, when I grew up during the time that I came along in the 60s and the 70s, it was a whole different temperature. You know what I'm saying? Growing up in a very close-knit neighborhood where all the parents knew all the kids in the neighborhood, and if you was out there doing something you ain't had no business doing, somebody's mother or their father would check you and send you to the house.
That's
and
right.
then you would and tell them what you did. And then when you got your ass to the house, you either got that belt, that switch, or in some cases that extension cord. I know what all three feel like.
Me too. Me too.
Hey, look, I can't say that I had that many whoopings. I can't say that I was what they call nowadays an abused child and this that. Once again, my people from South Carolina.
Yeah.
My people from the South. So that's the way they was raised. Physical discipline. Once again, did not have that many episodes of that. Didn't have to.
Yeah.
Because, 2 or 3 times was enough. Okay, I know not to try her.
Exactly.
See, and I don't want to get too far off track, but so on the music side for me, if it wasn't for hip hop, in my head, I wanted to play keyboards for Parliament.
The Funkadelic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Parliament Funkadelic, because George Clinton is one of my heroes.
Yes, sir.
One of my musical heroes. And in my head, I wanted to play right next to Bernie Worrell, which is the greatest keyboard player that ever touched a keyboard. If George Duke was alive, he would tell you this. If what's my boy name? Herbie Hancock. He would tell you this. And some of the great keyboardists, some of the great synthesizer players, they would tell you, right, that this dude right here, listen to Flashlight. I'm not, excuse me if I get just a little bit off track.
I'm with you.
Listen to the song Flashlight by Parliament. Bernie Worrell played every instrument in that song except drums. Listen to some of them keyboard runs that he doing that ain't even necessarily following the actual melody. Parliament Funkadelic had probably some of the greatest musicians ever.
Thanks.
Period.
Yeah.
Just go back and listen to all them Parliament Funkadelic records and listen to, if you don't listen to nothing else, listen to the musicianship. They did a lot of jazz type stuff that they was going, they might start off with the groove. That's your little bass line. But then, you hear Worrell, all kind of little crazy sounds and whatnot and this and that, but he's still in the groove. They did a lot of stuff that they would just be grooving. And that's because the drums was good back then. Let's keep it real.
I feel you.
That's what George and them was all about. It was them drugs. Them dudes smoking a lot of weed and snorting a lot of coke back then. Me, I ain't never been that dude, but my ear, I was on that mothership with them cats. Matter of fact, if you look right now, you see all these colors going on back there? I'm on the mothership right now.
I feel you.
So I stays on the mothership, man. I'm a lifelong funky. So once again, on the music side, before hip hop, it was all about the funk music. And then I'm in a group like Earth, Wind & Fire, Ohio Players, which is probably one of the greatest groups that ever done it. A lot of people don't give them their props for the Ohio Players. Fire.
That's right.
Period. So that's pretty much my background. Some of my earlier musical influences as far as hip hop and as far as being a DJ is concerned, which is probably what I'm quite sure you're going to allude to. The person that is in my head, the sole reason for me being a DJ is a guy from here named Maniac McLeod.
Mm.
In the 70s, in the mid 70s, it was him, and then it was everybody else.
Yeah.
He was the first DJ that I seen and heard scratch. He was the first DJ that I heard do seamless mixes. He was the first DJ that I heard as a DJ / MC. He was the first DJ other than Grandmaster Flash that I knew to actually make records that had his voice on it. Even though Flash didn't have his voice on it, actually the first DJ that I heard that had his voice on the record was DJ Hollywood out of New York, which was one of your first like pioneer DJ MCs.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So yeah, on the go-go side of things, my earliest and most important musical influence is definitely the Godfather, Chuck Brown.
Facts. Facts.
Period.
My question would be this, Kool. In the 90s, when you come up with Let Me Clear My Throat and bridging that gap between hip hop and go-go, what was that like interjecting your style and your flavor into gangster rap at that time too?
Gangster rap, you're gonna have to school me on that one. I don't know.
Well, I'm saying at that time you got Tupac, Biggie, you got Jay-Z, and all of these gangsters doing music, but then you over here charting and going crazy with the go-go.
I was able to survive in that environment.
Yeah.
Here we go. Let's listen to Let Me Clear My Throat. Let's just break it down from a scientific standpoint and a hip-hop standpoint, all right? A song like Let Me Clear My Throat ain't nothing but, I drew from the essence of what hip-hop music is. Hip-hop music started at the party, right? Wave your hands in the air, waving like you just don't care. Somebody say ho, right?
Yeah.
And what they call 2 turntables on a microphone. That's hip hop right there. That's where it started at. The DJ and the MC. That's all Let Me Clear My Throat is. We doing a bunch of party stuff over a classic breakbeat, probably the most classic hip hop breakbeat ever in the 900 number.
My God.
It is born out of the essence of what hip hop music, how it started, how it was born. That's why a song like that could survive in that environment, because it comes out of the root. That's the root of it. 2 turntables and a microphone, and that's all we was doing.
Now my question is this. With Let Me Clear My Throat being a live recording and you performing that song all over the place, where else did you perform that song that you thought to yourself, this would have been a good recording too?
Oh man, just about everywhere. Once again, because this is made out of the essence of the music that is of the culture. I don't give a damn where you go. Okay, let's look at somebody like Lil Jon.
Yeah.
Lil Jon see me come to Atlanta back in the day.
Yep.
Me and him doing the same thing.
Thanks.
He's just using more of a Southern or Atlanta dialect.
Yeah.
But he's doing the same thing. Who you with? Wait for call and response.
That's right.
It's the same thing. Look at Luke. Same thing.
Yeah.
Look at gospel music. We can take it to church if you want to. God is good.
All the time.
And all the time.
God is good.
Call and response.
That's right.
That's where that whole thing, it comes from the church. You see? Don't get me started, boy. You got the right one baby right now.
When you look,
something I'm doing is just basic. Like, it ain't nothing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There ain't no science like that behind it. I'm just having fun with people. You know
exactly.
what I mean? end of the day, you know, the bottom line, I'm just having fun with folks.
Exactly. What was your favorite show though, performing that song though, Kool?
Oh Lord, can't answer that question, fam.
What?
That's an unanswerable. Damn, that's a new word. I can't answer that question, man, because God bless. To have been able to perform that song literally or actually all over the world. I've been to just about every continent you can go to. There's only 2 continents that I have not been to to actually perform this song live. I have not been to Africa. Obviously, the song has played there.
Yeah.
You know, on the continent, but I've never been there, and I've never been to the continent of South America. Once again, I know that it has played there just from looking at my royalty statements, you know, for that. But other than that, I've been all over Europe. Well, obviously all over the United States, but all over Europe, all over Canada, all over Asia, everywhere.
What's going through your mind when you're in the middle of Asia and you're talking to your Asian partners, telling them to let you clear your throat of that thing, man?
See, this is the crazy thing about hip hop and people overseas. Now, this is what's weird to me. I've been in places like Estonia, which is in Europe. That's like going towards like Russia and all of that, up that way, Poland and this and that. And a lot of those folks don't speak English, but they love hip hop, and so they know the words to the songs. Now, if you sit down and try to have an actual conversation with them, they're going to be speaking to you for the most part in their language or in a very, very broken form of English. Okay, I get it. I'm in a foreign country, like, you know what I'm saying? This is not their primary language. I get that. So that's the beautiful thing about hip hop and just music in general. You know what I'm saying? That it just kind of travels and transcends, you know, different things like culture and, you know, and this and that. Yeah.
Did you ever get tired of your hit?
No. That don't make no sense to me. It don't. Because once again, with a song like that, let's just say that song in particular, we still having fun. I'm still going back and forth with the audience. I've done different variations of it sometimes. Like I got a part in the show, sometimes we had this James Brown routine that when I break it down, when I say freeze, and instead of saying ladies with real hair, real eyes, real fingernails like I do on the record, I say that, but I incorporate a James Brown routine, the please, please, please. Not please, please, please. This is a man's world when I say, that part right there.
Yeah.
So I'll say, we break it up like this. I might say, to all the ladies in the place with real hair, bump, real eyes, bump, real fingernails, bump. You got a job, bump. You going to school, bump. You know, going up and then.
Yeah.
Makes the noise, bump, 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 bump. And they screaming now.
My God.
Bump. Check the flavor of the rhythm I wrote. Well, I got a chance here. Let me clear my boom down the ad. So, you know, that just kind of put like a little twist on it. And then, especially when me and Dougie get together and do it. Me and him are like Al Pacino and Robert De Niro every time we get together. And the crazy thing about me and Dougie, I've been knowing Dougie since '87.
Yeah.
He's family to me. His family. Anytime me and this dude have ever got on the stage together, we might, like, we'll call the play right before or right when we going up on the stage. As soon as we get on the stage, it's something totally different. But that's how Dougie is. He comes off the top. He is the master. That's why they call him the greatest entertainer, because he is the master of improvisation.
That's right.
And being very spontaneous. You ain't gonna never get him to stick to no particular script. That's just not gonna happen with him. And that's what I love about him, because I'm like that too. Because at my core, I'm a DJ. I'm always reading the crowd. You know what I mean? And so, okay, I see they going this direction, so let me take them there. All right, look, I don't know, maybe they ain't going this. All right, so let me shift gears on them, take them this way. You know what I'm saying? And that's Dougie thinks like a DJ.
So now, as a DJ, what were some of the best lessons and advice that you received coming into the game? And then also, what do you attribute your staying power to?
Some of the greatest lessons that I learned was first, just like I said a moment ago, you got to read that crowd.
Mm-hmm.
You got to give them what they're looking for. I think you got to learn how to split it. Like, you got to give them what they need to hear, give them what they want to hear, but you also got to be brave enough to give them what they need to hear.
Ooh.
So that right there will come into not being afraid to break records. Like a lot of these young cats nowadays, they afraid. They don't break records no more. Oh no, they ain't playing that. Everybody ain't playing that. What? So you a follower. You're not a leader. You got the steering wheel in your hand. You're the one that got all the buttons and everything in front of you. You're supposed to dictate what your audience does. Any good artist, whether it be a DJ, MC, or musician, knows how to direct his audience and whatnot. The answer to your second question, as far as what can I attribute to my staying power, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I do. And I got sense enough to know and understand that this is what I was chosen by my creator to do. This is what I was put here for. That's why he gave me my voice. It sounds the way that it sounds when y'all hear it. This is why he gave me all the personality and all the wild imagination and everything that I can use on y'all all the time. That's what I'm here for. Make people feel good. Make people forget about all the things. And just rock with me for a minute. You know what I'm saying?
Answer me this, Cool. When you started DJing and hosting, did the gift of gab, was that already there, or was that something that you picked up along the way?
Nope, I just love having fun with folks, man. I'm a little bit crazy.
Mm.
But see, once again, taking it back to Maniac McCloud, right? This is what I saw. I saw him having complete control of his audience, right? So back then, he playing a lot of funk music. He playing a lot of disco and everything. And see, he knew the art of how to, like, really mix records. Like, he in the club, and he would really play records from the breakdown. I say playing from the breakdown out. Remember, records used to have breaks in them. You know, the breakdown part, as they call it. So he would start at the breakdown, and he'd be going back and forth holding the break. You know, back then, people like to dance in the 70s and the 80s.
Yeah.
You know, you come to a club, you come to sweat it out.
That's right.
So, you know, that was his whole thing. I guess that's what the whole Maniac thing came from, because he had a very aggressive style of playing. Like, he's trying to murder your ass when you're in a club. You know, he wants your knees hurting, your ankles hurting, hair sweat out, everything. So he's killing it. So his mixes, all his blends was always seamless. You know what I mean? He would blend so smooth the way you couldn't tell that he had come out of one song and went into another. But he working in breaks, so he might start at the break, then you might hear him say, all right, let me take it to the top. Then he, bam, take it right to the top and run the record till it get to the break again. Then when he get to the break, he mixes the next song and here it comes. And then he rocking that. And he just wearing your ass out and he going back and forth with the crowd all night, making people laugh and just being a total entertainer up there. So when you leave that club, first of all, you know who he is, you know his name, you know how his voice sounds, and you've been a part of his whole experience.
Exactly.
And so that's what I wanted to be. I wanted to be that. And that's what I became. But the crazy thing is this. Maniac McCloud played from 1975. I think Maniac say he retired in 1995.
Mm-hmm.
I started DJing 1978. And this was something that he brought to my attention. He say, Cool. He say, what you don't understand is, he said, yeah, you call me, you know, your father in this game and this and that and blah, 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 blah. He said, but man, you have surpassed me He said, I was only in the game 20 years.
Mm.
So you started in 1978 and you still killing it. This here is 2020. He said, you've been in the game twice as long as I have.
My God.
And I thought about that. I said, what? He said, yeah, I'm telling you, this. So, you know, that's a blessing, man. That's a blessing.
When it comes to your music, what artists and what people paid homage to you that you were not expecting to be fans of DJ Kool?
Oh my God. I remember one time I met Eddie Levert from the OJs.
Yeah.
I introduced myself and I told him about my song. He said, man, that's a big record right there, man. Man, you got a big record. That's a big record right there. I never forgot that. I'm like, for real, this ain't no imposter. This is the real Eddie OJ from the iconic OJs telling me this.
That's right.
Somebody that's completely on the other side of what I do. You know what I'm saying? And so, that was one moment. I met Michelle Obama one time, this is a story right here. I got a chance to open for Beyonce twice. Shout out to DJ Khaled. The one that made that happen 2 times. One time for Beyonce and the second time with Beyonce and Jay-Z. First time was with Beyonce. To make a long story short, we were going into the arena, getting ready to come out, and I was going to do Clear My Throat right before Beyonce came out with Khaled. So they taking me to the stage area, and I see this crowd of people coming towards me. And as they got closer, I say, that woman, I'm telling my cousin, I said, man, that woman, who? I say, who is that? I said, I know damn well that ain't who I think that is. You know, I'm nose to nose with Michelle Obama. And this is 2016, so they still in office.
Yeah.
Now my country ass, I ain't never met no public official. I didn't know how to act.
Yeah.
So I bowed down to her. I said, Miss First Lady, if I may introduce myself, that's as proper as I could figure to speak to her. And I introduced myself, and I told her, about my song, and she looked at me and started laughing and bowed right back down to me. She said, DJ Kool, I know exactly who you are, and I love Let Me Clear My Throat. She said, Now, at that point right there, I didn't give a damn about opening for Beyonce. The hell with Beyonce. I'm set up here with the damn First Lady, and she doesn't recognize me.
I feel you.
I didn't know what to do. I'm country as a bitch, like, huh? So, now this is the crazy thing. I didn't see nobody but her. Mind you, her daughters were standing right there. The Secret Service was right there. All her daughter's friends were there because her oldest daughter had just graduated high school the day before. And them Carters, they friends with the Obamas. So, she was taking her to meet Beyonce and them for a birthday one night. Not a birthday, for a graduation day. So I didn't have time, or I didn't take time enough to think, well, damn, she's standing right here nose to nose with me, Kool. All you got to do is tell her to take a picture. I was starstruck. I don't never get starstruck. At least not openly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't know what to do. My mind was running like crazy, man. I'm talking to her. She doesn't acknowledge me. She was real cool. She won't act all, none of that. And I'm thinking, but damn, I still got to get in here and do this thing for Beyonce. So I'm like, okay, well, thank you. God bless you. And then boom, we gone. And it's like I had a dream or something that I had just woke up out of.
Crazy.
I had a bunch of moments like that. I got a chance to perform for Stevie Wonder last year. He has this big thing that he does called Taste of LA. There's an estimated 400,000 people at his event every year. He's doing it for quite some time. He has the biggest Black-owned radio station in California.
Yeah.
I noticed at the time. So I got a chance to perform on his stage. They had 3 different stages out there, so I performed on what they call the Stevie Wonder stage, because at the end of all of our sets, everybody that was on that, part of the show. Then Stevie come out, and then everybody die after that. You know, when he come out. So after that was over, they take me back. All right, they take me in his trailer. I'm going to meet Stevie Wonder. Now I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm keeping that to myself. Because I don't give a damn when nobody say, I'm the #1 Stevie Wonder fan on the face of the earth. I don't give a damn with nobody. So I'm talking to this man, and I introduced myself, and he said, yeah, let me clear my throat. I'm looking at this dude, and I'm like, Stevie, just say what? Actually, I know damn well he can't see me. At least I don't think he can. But what I didn't find out was, and I didn't find out this until after I got home. My manager told me, he said, well, Kool, what you don't know is Stevie handpicked you to perform, to be one of the artists to perform on this festival. So yes, he knows exactly who you are. He's the one that brought you out there. Yeah. He said, did no promoter do that? That was Stevie himself. He handpicked everybody on that show.
My God.
So that's just a few, you know what I'm saying, of the stories.
Answer me this though, Kool. Did you feel any pressure trying to come up with another Let Me Clear My Throat after that song hit?
I let God do it, bro. And I know you might say, Kool, need to go on with all that, but
I feel you too.
That's it, man. I don't think about nothing like that. You know, I don't. Why should you? You know what I mean? Because you done already done that. People have asked me, Kool, you gonna come out with another remix and this and that? For what? We have already done that. You want to hear a remix? That's the video version with me, Biz, and Dougie. And shout out to Biz Markie too. I want everybody on here to know. I'm gonna look right here. I want everybody to know I need y'all to pray for my brother Bismarck right now. Get every prayer you got. I need you to pray for him.
Do you know how do you know how he's doing right now? Is it still just terribly bad, or is he coming out of it in it?
Let's pray for him.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's pray for him.
With that being said, with this year being so crazy, how do you feel? How have you survived COVID-19?
I am a very strict proponent when it comes to natural health remedies. I know the fact that we are born of the ground. Once again, if you want to look at this from a spiritual standpoint, from dust we came and from dust you shall return. Let's put it that way.
That's right.
So I know that there is a natural remedy for anything that's going on with our body. I know that's a fact.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? They're trying to get us to take this dad bum vaccine. I don't know. I don't know. I ain't a big fan of it.
Me either.
I was having a conversation with my manager about this today. Now, at one point, me and him was on the same page. This here was just last week. Now he telling me, he say he thought about it. And he say, Kool, he say we might have to take that. He say because you're not gonna be able to travel. They ain't gonna let you travel. Say you gotta work. So he say, don't worry about it. I ain't pressing you. He said, because you know, once again, last week, me and you was having the same conversation. Both of us was in agreement with the fact that I'm not taking it, I'm not taking it. You know, that type of thing. He say, but I thought about it, man. He say, I don't know. He say, we just gonna have to pray on it. Now, mind you, hold on for 1 second. I gotta plug this phone up here.
Yeah.
He himself is diabetic.
Mm.
All right. So, you know, just that's what Biz is going through right now.
Yeah.
Diabetes, you know what I'm saying, amongst other things.
Yeah.
So he is not, like, just like I say, initially he was not a fan of the vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
He say, but he thought about it, man. He started weighing out the pros and cons. He say, but I want you. He say, we say, we gonna wait on it. We gonna pray on this, both of us. He say, but if it come down to it, then we might have to, you know what I'm saying? He say, we got plenty of time, because there's a lot of levels as far as people that's gonna have to take it first. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And mind you, we probably won't get you know, the ball rolling again for real to probably like next summer.
My God.
Think about it. Because the first conversation we was having was, well, hell, maybe if enough people get out here and take it, then, you know, we won't necessarily have to worry about taking it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're going to start kind of opening things back up a little bit. But then it's like, okay, when they get you in a situation where you can't get on this plane unless we know that you done, you know,
Yeah.
took this vaccine, that's when it starts getting sticky at.
Yeah.
We can refuse all we want to, but you're not getting your ass on this plane. You ain't got to take it, but you're not getting on this airplane.
That's right.
You ain't got to take it, but you're not going to be able to get up in this venue.
Yeah.
So I'm praying on that. And okay, I'm 62. I don't know how old you are, but I will. Remember one time when I took a vaccination, and all of us that are of a particular age can remember that one little vaccine that we had to take for, I believe
polio.
It was,
Was it polio?
I believe it was polio and the measles and this and that back then. This here was in the 60s. I know I was in elementary school, so yes, this was like early to mid 60s. I still got that little mark on my arm right now to this day. Now, to the best of my knowledge, it has not affected me adversely at all. So my thing is this: if y'all play fair with us, you know what I mean, and you know, does something where it ain't gonna harm folks, you know what I mean, then all right. But me, my manager called me a conspiracy theorist. Yes, I am. I do a lot of research and a lot of study on a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not what I like to call, I'm not a sleepwalker.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? I'm all into, you know, people like Bill Gates. I'm all into the Rothschild family, the Rockefeller family, the Waltons, the British royal family, all of these folks. Bezos, all of these jokers. You know, I've studied what the Georgia Guidestones are all about. You know, I know what Agenda 21 is all about. I know what ID 2020, what that project is all about. See, you're talking, now, there's another little fun fact that you might not know. Now, years ago, like, and well, I guess to this day, I'm a very big Public Enemy fan. Ever since I heard Chuck D say Farrakhan's a prophet that I think you ought to listen to, you know, who is Minister Farrakhan? So I started researching him and studying him. And I'm saying all that to say this. Back in those days, back in the early 90s, I came like this close to being FOI. That's who you looking at.
Yeah.
See, I'm all about that. Me personally, I ain't never heard Farrakhan say nothing that won't true. I'm all into somebody that's going to give me a bunch of information, and then right behind that, he'll come back and say, now look, I don't want you to take what I say for face value. So I want you to go research this and then come back and talk to me. So ever since that seed was planted in me by my very good friend, Chuck D, that's why I'm all into doing research when it comes to stuff like, you know, all these players that these white folks been pulling on us all these years since we was brought over here in the transatlantic slave trade.
That's right.
Let me get too deep, because we might get way off the topic. I don't want to do that.
Now, I ain't mad at you at all, Kool, but I got another question. How do you feel about hip-hop right now, and do you think there'll ever be anybody else? See, you know, when you brought up that little John comparison, I totally understood where you was coming from, and that was the second coming of that, you know, funk. Do you think it's going to reemerge and have a resurgence again in hip-hop?
I can't say when, but I'm quite sure it will.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, people want to have a good time, and it'll probably just be in a different form. But there's a bunch of new little hype men out here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're all in the clubs. You know, they're in the clubs. They calling them hosts now. They hosting parties now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Especially in places like New York and whatnot. Shout out to my man Boogie Black up there in Harlem. You know what I mean? Shout out to one of my other brothers, Fat Man Scoop. You know what I'm saying? A lot of cats.
You know what, Cool? I'm gonna have to just give some game to the future generations listening right now. Because if I was a DJ listening to this conversation, I would be going to my club this weekend looking for a break beat, and I'd be recording me a new single with this new slang, and I would have it on the radio the next doggone week. My God.
Yeah, yeah. It's easy. People, you know, giving shout outs and all that kind of stuff. You know, like in go-go, when you give a shout out to somebody, you know, such and such in the club, they call that putting people on display.
Yeah.
That's old school go-go slang. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's like way back in the 80s. You're gonna put such and such on display. You're gonna put such on display, you know. But people like that to this day. Nowadays, the new form of that is when we DJing like this thing that I do every Monday on a platform called Go Radio, where we DJing virtually.
Mm-hmm.
All the people in the chat room and whatnot, I'm shouting out to them. Putting all them people on display. Yeah, I see you, such, yeah. You know, blah, 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 blah in the house. This, da, 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 da. And people feel good. Some people take it real personal when you don't say their name.
That's true.
They don't understand. You can't see all of them people, man. And see, for me, not to get too far off subject, but when I'm doing this this virtual thing that I'm doing, I'm looking at two different computer screens. The screen in front of me is all my music in my Serato. And when people see me looking to the side, I'm looking at the other computer or the other screen rather that's got the broadcast on it and the chat room.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking back and forth. That damn chat room's steady rolling. You know what I mean? I have 3,000-4,000 people come up in that chat room.
My God.
At a time. And I'm only playing for 2 hours. And if I just happen to look over there and I see you, then yeah, I'm going to shout you out. But if I'm looking here and you done already went past and I look back over there and you gone, then, you know, yeah. So a lot of people, like a lot of my regulars, they know to just keep on making comments. Just keep on commenting because eventually he going to see. Some of them newbies, they might say something once or twice. Mm-hmm. And they don't understand, like, I'm doing a lot of stuff here. I'm trying to run this whole show, and I can't, you know what I'm saying? So if I see you, yeah, I'm going to holler at you if I got a second, especially if I'm playing a break or something, you know. Mm-hmm. And okay, now, this thing that I do is called, I'm on a platform called Go Radio. Mm-hmm. And my show is called Monday Night Live. Mm. And basically, it's every Monday. It's from 8 to 10 p.m. And the way you would access it is through my Instagram or Facebook page. You would go to my Linktree link, and you would go to my in my bio. You click that, and you see a thing called DJ Kool's Monday Night Live. You click that, and then you'd be up in there with. And all it is me rocking 80s and 90s go-go. A lot of PA tape stuff and whatnot. So some of it is like actual records that came out. Some of it is old school go-go PA tapes. Like it might be, I don't know, rare answers from 1985 at the Maverick Room, or it might be EU Anacostia Park, you know, 1982 Anacostia Park or something, you know, that type of thing. So like if you was here and you was part of the, you know, growing up in the culture, you would say, yeah, man, you know, I used to go, I was at that show. I was at the Maverick Room that night when Rasmus did that joint. You know what I'm saying? Or I was at such and such when Trouble Funk was at the Black Hole, you know, in 1989 or something like that. And that type of thing. And I'm playing a lot of that kind of stuff too. And these people are going crazy.
My God.
And it's also introducing a lot of people that heard of go-go music, but ain't never really got a chance to really experience it. And so the way that I'm bringing it to them is the closest thing that you could get to actually hearing it live, because that's really the way that you want to experience that. You need to hear it and see it live. So you can see the musicians, you can feel the music and like that. Really hearing it, you know, on records or whatever, that ain't, it's cool, but if you there when it's actually happening, that's a whole nother level.
My God.
That's gonna bring you into it.
Exactly.
Yeah, no matter.
Cool. My last question is, how can these folks contact you? And is there anything else you want to get off your chest?
Well, I guess I done got just about everything I need to get off my chest, and my chest ain't that big, so it ain't gonna take a lot. But they can definitely contact me on Facebook and Instagram using the same joint at Legendary DJ Kool DC. And I want to introduce you to a friend of mine. My name is Socko! Socko's here! And yeah, I rock with the Legendary DJ Kool every week. As a matter of fact, I'm his promo person. You know what I'm saying? So every week, you'll see me talk about Legendary DJ Kool's Monday Night Live broadcast. So yeah, I get everybody all pumped up and whatnot. Matter of fact, I'm going to be starting my own mix show starting next year. It's going to be called Socko's Mini Mix. Yeah, because a lot of people want to see me mix too. Yeah.
I can definitely dig it. Well, DJ Kool, thank you so much for your time, boss. Salute, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man.
No problem.
God bless.